Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am currently sitting on my floor. Just thought I would let you know. I don't know why, it's literally not important. So today I wanted to talk about my time in high school or secondary school. Technically I live in Ireland, so I should call it secondary school, but I'm more used to the term high school. So I'm just gonna say high school throughout this video. But I wanted to do a little Q&A on my time in high school because it's like that chapter of my life's basically officially finished. Completely. I am out of school. I am graduated. Actually, a lot of people have even asked me in my DMs and my comments like what I think about the whole situation with the leaving cert, and am I happy? Am I stressed? Am I disappointed? And I personally am very happy with how it turned out. I am just chilling at home. I wanted to do this little video as like a little goodbye to that chapter, and also when I'm older I can look back in this video and some specific thoughts that I have might be different then, so I can kind of see what it was like when I had just finished high school. A week ago it was announced that our exams were cancelled, and when our exams were cancelled that basically means we graduated. So I asked you guys on my Instagram to ask me some questions for this video, and I wrote them down on my computer. So these type of questions, I tried not to make any of them really like. So let's start with a simple one. How do you feel about school being done? I feel like I already kind of answered that like a couple of seconds ago, but I'm really happy. I could not handle doing the exams right now. We would have to study for another like 3 months, and I think my mental health would not handle that. So the fact that we're finished school, I feel very happy. I feel very relieved straight away. This is probably a really stupid thing to do, but when exams were cancelled, I deleted all of my flashcard sets, all of everything I've made for the exam year, because I'm done and I never want to look at it ever in my life again. And I know some people will think that's a stupid decision because a lot of people might appeal or they might retake the exams, but I'm 100% positive no matter what grade I get, I'm not repeating. I am so done, like so done. Even if I don't get the grade I want, I'm not going back. I love everyone in our school, but I think in high school, everybody still has kind of like a childish mentality, and I don't want to be surrounded by that anymore. And I know you can repeat exams without going back to school, but I also don't want to do that. And it's also not about what I want. It's also not possible because next year, Brexit, fees are gonna rise. I'm not gonna be able to go to university, so this year is my only year. Ooh, okay. Did Mean Girls exist in your school? Okay, so this really depended on the year. So the last 2 years, everybody was just nice to each other. Well, as far as I know, I think second year was the most problematic. I feel like at that age, people are about 14, 15, and people get into so much drama. We never had like a mean girl clique, but I think we definitely had like 3 people that would make fun of people a lot. And I'm not gonna say they were bullies, but I think you would call them bullies, but they weren't like specifically friends. Actually, no, sometimes they'd be friends, but sometimes they'd fight. It was only 2 or 3, and my year had about 200 people, so it wasn't that bad. Do you see yourself keeping in touch with your school friends after graduation? Well, technically, we've already had our graduation. Not really, but like, I guess. But honestly, no, I don't. Technically, I didn't have that many school friends. I had like specific acquaintances in classes. Like, if I sat beside someone in class, I would talk to them in class, but I would never talk to them outside of school, so I wouldn't consider them my friends. Well, technically they are, because I would get along with them very well when I was like with them, but like we'd never talk outside of school, so I wouldn't call that a friend. I would call that like a classmate or an acquaintance, but not friend. I think out of school, honestly, the only person I would stay in contact with long term is Catherine, because we were friends. Like, we didn't need school to make us friends. Like, even if we don't have school, we still get along amazingly, whereas with some other people, I would only talk to them in school, which, like, yes, they're my friend, but they're my school friend. Catherine will forever be in my heart. What was your favorite school year? There's different aspects. So if it's like the most fun year, probably second year. But if you say like the most favorite, like the most wholesome year, like the most like fulfilling year, would be 6th year, so the year that I just did. But the most fun was probably second year, but second year was also the worst year. It was like the best and worst. It had so many events. Like something was happening all the time, but like I would never want to repeat it. Whereas 6th year was quite boring, but it was like the most wholesome, like the most fulfilling. Everybody's chill, everybody's maturing. Me myself, I was like more confident with what I look like. In 2nd year, I could never go to school not wearing makeup. Like not a day, not for a second could I go into school without makeup. So like in that sense, like I didn't like that because it was very like, it was like a peer pressure time, you know? Whereas like 6th year, I was like fully doing what the hell I wanted. I was closer with my teachers, but it was like kind of boring because it was just like study, 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 study. But it was like the most wholesome year. Do you regret spending so much time studying now that exams have been cancelled? Honestly, I don't regret it at all because first of all, I studied very hard during 5th and 6th year. Like, okay, maybe I wasted my time because we're not doing our exams, but I don't really think I wasted my time because now our teachers are going to be predicting our grades, and I honestly think they will predict me quite high grades because I've been putting in so much work for 2 years in a row. I was working hard all the time, so teachers will see that, hopefully, and hopefully predict me a good grade. Also, another reason why I don't regret it is because I feel like 95% of what we learn in high school is not like needed information. Like nobody uses it in our afterlife, but the experiences in high school and like the way we learn how to like respect other people, or like how do I study, like all these like little things, I think those are really, really important. And if we weren't in school, we wouldn't know how to do that. Did people ever judge you for your YouTube channel? I was very lucky because I never got like full judgment from any of my like classmates. I did get like a bunch of jokes made about it in the beginning, but they were kind of like light-hearted jokes. So anytime anyone would joke about my channel, I would just kind of laugh with them, and I feel like that made things a lot better for myself because then after like a year of having my YouTube channel, people got used to it and like nobody cared, like nobody talked about it. How was the party culture in high school? It depends on what kind of partying. So Ireland has this thing, it's like they have these like discos where I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like if you live in Ireland, like Irish discos, how do you even explain it? It's just like a disco, but it's something weird about it. So basically that started in 1st year, and it was such a big thing. You would like dress up. If I have any pictures of myself from those like discos, I'll put them right here, but you would like dress up and just go to this like disco. But if you mean like drinking culture, because at that time all of us went to discos, but none of us ever drunk. It was like, drink? Like what? Like you're 12, like calm down. So I think drink culture, oh my god, I just said 1st year is too early, but I think drink culture started in like 2nd year. In 2nd year, maybe like 10% have drunk, but it was never like a regular thing at all. It was just like maybe they tried it. By 3rd year, people were like drinking, but not like regularly. But by 5th year, oh my god, 5th year, 6th year, people drank so much. I don't know if it's because people are turning 18, but like literally every single week I would see on someone's story like someone's going out to the pub drinking, and I'm like, how do people I don't know. I was never a partier. Like would literally go like once every 6 months. I think the first time I drank at a party was 3rd year, but in the last year of high school, oh my god, everybody drank so much. Like obviously at parties and like for reasons, but I personally didn't. I stayed at home a lot. I think I went out like twice. When was your peak popularity wise? Oh my lord, I really hate the whole popularity thing in high school, and I fully feel like it's only applicable, can you say that? It's only applicable in the first couple of years. So like in the last 2 years, it wasn't like, actually no, there's definitely like a popular group. I'm not in it at all. For me, oh my god, this is so uncomfortable. Because I was never like popular, but my peak was probably 2nd year. Once again, going back to, like I said before, it was one of my most fun years because so much things were happening. I feel like I had the most friends at that time. I literally could not care less. I prefer if nobody knows me rather than everyone knows me. So it's not like I would want my peak to be in 6th year or something. Like I literally could not care less, and I don't think anybody in our school cares anymore. What was your favorite and least favorite subject? So there's 2 aspects in that question. The first aspect is like the actual subject, like what's being taught, and the second aspect is like the classroom, the atmosphere, the people, the teacher, like all of that. So I'm gonna gonna say my favorite and least favorite for both. So first I'm gonna answer like actually subject-wise. Subject-wise, my favorite is maths and my least favorite was English, always. And atmosphere-wise and like people, I think my favorite was either Spanish or Irish, just because those were the most like open classes. Those were the classes where I was the most comfortable. See, I can't fully answer that because Irish was a really big class and Spanish was like a tiny class of like 6 people. So like the fact that it was 6 people, like it made it really comfortable and everybody was like closer. But with my Irish class, because it was like a big class, it was always like really funny. I think my least favorite class, judging on like the environment in that class, I don't know if you can really say that, but like how I felt during that class, it was in maths. I think that was my like least comfortable class, but like I still felt completely comfortable and I love that class. But out of all my classes, I think that would be the most like I'd never want to speak in that class. Was your high school experience the same way you imagined? Not at all. Honestly, I rewatched the High School Musical trilogy lately, and this is so cheesy, but I cried so much. Like, I don't think it's because I felt like I missed out on anything. I think it was like subconsciously like I don't really know why I was crying, because I've never cried at High School Musical before, but when I was rewatching it like after I'd graduated, I cried so much, and I don't know why. I think it's just because they make it seem a lot more fun than it is, and then like you see all of these things about like high school and growing up, and it like looks so insanely fun. And it's not, I mean, it depends on how you spend your year. Maybe if I had partied more and like studied less, it would be more fun, but at the same time I wouldn't really want to do that. Like, I'm happy with what I did. I'm happy that I partied less and studied more. But yeah, I am personally very happy with how everything turned out. It just wasn't how I expected. Thank you guys for watching this video. My battery is about to die. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's safe. And if you have also graduated, if you're in the class of 2020, you can answer these questions yourself and talk about how your experience in high school was if you're graduating this year as well. And yeah, thank you for watching. Much love. Peace out. Bye.